How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to show you a very short update on why I think that the new Lich Ascendancy could be extremely good for Hexblast in the next season. Now bearing in mind we do expect to see nerfs to mana based off what Mark was saying. We may also see nerfs to Archmage, so this does open the door for some very interesting new opportunities if you decide to play a Hexblast build in the next season. Let's start with Crystalline Phylactery. You see here that you can't use a unique jewel. It doesn't say anything currently about time lost jewels, and it doesn't say anything currently about rare jewels. So let's just assume that you can use a time lost jewel in this particular socket, right? 100% increased effect. Now, if you look at my current time lost sapphire, this gives 20% magnitude and some crit bonus. And in this particular position on the tree, it has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you need to, 6, 7 potential notable passives. Now, in my current setup, this would be 140% poison magnitude and almost 100% crit bonus. This would then be doubled to 280% poison magnitude from a single time lost jewel, which would mean you can free up a lot of these jewel sockets here, where you don't need to put as much poison magnitude in because you already get such a gigantic amount from one time lost sapphire, and that is just from one ascendancy point. Let's go a bit further down the tree. If you go to the right side here, you have Soulless Form, which looks like it's a bit troll, but bear with me a moment. 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield. Okay, sounds pretty lame. You don't get any. You lose your inherent mana regen. You get a bit based off life. However, eternal life is very interesting. Look at this. Your life cannot change while you have energy shield. So what this effectively means is you have access to an almost unprecedented, at least in terms of PoE2, amount of both offensive and defensive capabilities. As many of you might have seen, an alternative to my build is to use the Burden of Shadows as a sort of substitute for Archmage. Now, the way this works is your skill mana costs get converted to life, and for every 3 life you use, you get 1% of damage as extra chaos damage. Now, we've seen builds in the Blood Mage variety where they can spend about 1.5k life and get something like, I think it's like 500% additional chaos damage as well. Additional damage is extra chaos damage, which effectively substitutes this effect for Archmage. However, if you combine this with Lich, which says your life cannot change, you can bunch up this life cost to as high as you want, and if this works correctly, as it is being written, this would mean that you effectively get to cast an extremely amplified Hexblast for completely free. But not only that, it gets even more interesting. Remember this here, 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield, but your life cannot change. So that means we can combine it with an Atziri's Disdain. If 25% damage taken bypasses energy shield, in addition to the 10%, that's 35% damage mitigation for free. That's insane. Like, you have access to to almost like 500-600% extra damage as chaos, which is fantastic for poison builds. And you have 35% damage mitigation. If this works as it's written, I think this could be completely ridiculous. But of course, we'll have to see what the patch notes say to confirm that this interaction is indeed possible. And that is, of course, assuming that GGG don't realise by the time the patch notes come out, and then we're all left with a bit of a disappointment. But we all expect Archmage nerves, and if they come through, then this would be an excellent alternative opportunity. Thank you.